Started. Feel the roll call.
Smith?
Yes.
Eden? Fisher?
Here.
Glass?
Yes.
Hanson? Sherman?
Here.
Tucker?
Yes.
And approval of minutes of the April 18th meeting is the first thing on the agenda. It was full meeting instead of the emergency meeting we had to have in May.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the April 18th minutes. Roll call vote.
Fisher?
Yes.
Sherman?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Glass?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes. And next is the new meeting of May 21st to approve the budget for the coming year. Shouldn't be too much discussion on that one.
I make a motion to approve those minutes. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the May 21st meeting minutes. Roll call vote.
Glass?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Tucker?
Well, I just saw, I didn't read it, but it said I was absent, but I was there.
Oh, I'm
At
sorry.
the bottom, but when that's expected or not, it's no big deal, I'm sure. Yes.
And
Yes.
April 18th financial statements.
On April 30th, we had collected for a total for the year $592,581. We had expended for the year $711,459. At the end of April, we had $54,559 encumbered. Our cash in bank was $115,674.71. We had two CDs to total $412,850.15. The revenues that we received, we received a $10,000 grant payment. During that month, we received $34,956 in sales tax. And everything else was pretty routine as far as the receivables are concerned. We had some interest. As far as charges for services, we had about $3,911. So that was pretty common. For the month, we had expenditures for the month of April. We had $11,929 in personnel services, $9,229 in materials and supplies purchased, $4,553 for other services and charges, capital outlay purchases $31,559, and debt service at $14,931. As I look through the expenditures for the month, for the month of April, I really didn't see anything that was unusual. Bought some supplies at the farmer's co-op. Had some repairs done to our door locks. Had some equipment worked on at Western Equipment. Courtney, was anything there that you thought was out of the road, out of the norm that we should explain?
No, yeah, I will explain where it says dugout repairs for Kelly Solar. He came in and, some of our fencing was starting to kind of come down. He just kind of did some repairs to weld some pieces up so fences on those won't come down. So yeah, that was about the whole thing. If you had any questions as to what he did.
So what's the grant for? The $10,000 grant?
Was that for the shade structures with the tourism tax that we got, grant that we received?
Has the CD rates changed?
We're getting better than what we were getting a year ago. They've come up a little bit. I mean, they're not wonderful, 1.6, 1.8%. For some of the longer term things, we've gotten up to about 2.3%. But as far as, they haven't moved a whole lot. Like I said, they're better than they were a year ago. But
Motion to approve the April financials. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the April financials. Roll call vote.
Sherman?
Yes.
Glass?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
We now turn your attention to the May financials.
okay, well, May, we had, for the year, we've collected $666,084. We have expended $771,908. We have encumbered $35,028. Cash in bank, we had $127,499. CDs, we had $413,780. As far as the revenues that we received, some of the things that were a little unusual, a little higher than normal, we had youth sports payments at $21,000. We had concession payments at $13,000. And then our sales tax that we received, which was about normal, was $37,000. What do you want to talk about a little bit about the youth sports and the concessions?
Yeah, both of those, that's both of our tournaments, the April and the May. The reason it includes the April one is we had to push our April tournament back to the last weekend of April, so we actually didn't get that deposit in until after May 1. So that reflects both tournaments, which is outstanding, so.
As far as expenditures which are signed for the month of May, we had $17,836 in personnel services, $10,250 for materials and supplies, $17,432 for other services and charges, and then our building payment at $14,931. Some of the things that are just a little bit out of the norm here, because of the tournaments, we had $10,000 worth of payments to umpires and scorekeepers, which is, that shows up to be a little high. Everything else is pretty much normal. We did have an audit payment. We did finish up, get our final audit for 2016, 2017 during the month of May, and we got that final bill in and paid that out. Other than that, I don't see a lot of things that are unusual about the payments that were made. Is there anything that you want to bring to their attention, Courtney?
No, anything. Of course, like we said, we do have a few more expenses, but, we get up to our tournaments as far as concessions and referees, umpires, things like that, so.
Was it the month of June that you had the big concession payment deposit?
No, well, our biggest one was that May one.
It was the May.
Yeah, we still had a pretty good sized one this last time. This one for the June. With our
It's almost 3,000 just for concession.
yeah. So the June will reflect our softball tournament, so that'll be good. And we can get in the year out time.
Make the motion to approve the financials.
Second. Then moved and seconded to approve the May financials. Roll call vote.
Fisher,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Sherman, Smith,
Yes.
Glass.
Yes.
Courtney?
It's me. Since, our meeting in May was just a new meeting, I didn't really get to go over our tournaments, but as right now, we've had 4 very successful tournaments. Our softball tournaments weren't we didn't get the numbers like we would have wanted, but they were still really good. We were to host another tournament this coming weekend. We don't have enough teams to make that work because of so many teams going to state or just ready to be done. So we are going to look next year at moving this tournament to the beginning of the season. When we do an April baseball tournament, we'll probably turn around and do an April softball tournament. So we're hoping that that'll be better for us there. We've got 144 kids in our coach pitch, machine pitch, T-ball league, which is only 4 shy of last year, so it's pretty average. And then we've got some new employees. I've got a new guy that started today, seasonal worker. I've got another gentleman that's starting tomorrow, and then we'll have a third one hopefully by next week. So that's good. It'll get us a little bit more people on mowers and weed eaters and get things going there. I was approached by the high school basketball coach about putting on, co-sponsoring a Greg Swain basketball tournament. And the reason that he had kind of approached me is these tournaments, you have to have air-conditioned gyms in order to host these tournaments. He had asked if, when we co-sponsor this together, he would like to have a fundraiser and do the concession and have the concession monies go to his organization. He would bring in all his concession supplies. He wouldn't use any of our products. The gate and the entry fee money goes to pay the officials, and that's through the organization, so we aren't out anything there. Basically, the only thing we'd be out is, turning on the dim lights and letting people in. I told him I would, approach you guys with that, since it is going to be a fundraiser for him. I know we can't vote on it, but I want you guys to kind of start thinking about it, see if that's something you guys are interested in letting them do or not, and then we need to have a special meeting to approve that. He's going to look to see if he can still get in to do a late July tournament. He's not sure if he can or not, so he's checking into that. But if he can, then we're looking at late July doing a basketball tournament in here. So that's something that you guys, I think it could help us in the long run, because if they ever got air conditioning, they could use their gym, we could use ours, and we could just really make this thing blow up a little bit. So, any thoughts?
Yeah, they're supplying the personnel and everything else. I'm want to know what everybody thinks are the downsides.
But we would have to supply at least one person for that.
Kind of a supervisor,
Kind
just
of
to
make
make
sure
sure.
everything was.
Yeah,
Do you know more than what we do for like gym renting on
no,
Sunday night league or something like that?
no. I mean, like I say, it may not benefit us this first year, but future years and future tournaments, it could benefit us, so,
Then late July didn't conflict with anything we got on
no.
board.
So if this is something that we think, they can approve, if he comes back and he can get a date, we may have to have a special meeting just to approve that and vote, so.
And also, one of the main reasons that you would need to be approving it is because we do have rates set, and this would be a deviation from the rates that you have already approved for the usage of the facility. And as management, we don't have the authority to alter those rates.
But that's all I have.
How's the groundskeeper working out?
Things are getting there, with more help. I think that'll help us tremendously. We can keep everybody on mowers and tractors. If we can keep those guys working, then, we'll see how the summer goes.
Anything ever happen with the golf?
Yes, actually, hopefully it's delivered tomorrow. We ordered a sand pro for the fields. I know it's a little bit later for our seasons this year, but it'll still be great at the beginning of seasons next year, so hopefully it'll be here tomorrow.
What, John Deere?
No, it is a Toro, out of Broken Arrow.
Okay, anything from city council?
A couple things I'd like to bring up. One, I'm going to try to steal it into Brandon's thunder. He can chime in anytime he wants to. The budget was approved Monday night, so everything is in place for all of our funds to have their budgets implemented on July 1, 2018. Everything's gone smooth with that. Would like to bring up, I neglected to get it on this agenda because, quite honestly, I'd forgotten about it. But I was asked about the NWOSU contract and talked to Courtney a little bit about it. Everything is going well as far as our communication and everything with the college. And we don't have any issues. We don't have any issues with it. We've been able to work through any issues that we've had throughout the year. If the board would like, it kind of depends on what the board's preference would be. If they would like to put a committee together, we'll have a meeting. We'd have a special meeting to form the committee to look at the contract, to go over it. Or if they don't feel like there's a need for that, we can move forward with the same contract that we had last year. If memory serves me correctly, there's a flat payment of $25,000 from the college to us. I know that is what they have budgeted in their plans. And I also know that I'm aware of some of the legislative cuts that they've had through the year. So I think the only thing that we would want to try to negotiate with them would be, right now, would be an increase in rates, and I honestly don't think they've got it to give us. Or just, their budgets they're where they're at. and their cuts have been pretty deep legislatively. I honestly just don't believe it's there.
Anything as far as manpower from them that could be exchanged for extra payment?
That we could approach them with that, and that would be something that we could,
Well, I was just.
even if they,
Had to do some things before.
well, what we may want to do, even if we went forward with the contract that we've got now and nothing changed, if there were things that come up that we think we would like to have them to come help us do, then I think we would certainly approach them, and if at all possible, I believe that they would do that. That's my feelings of the way things are working right now. I don't know if Courtney has any other feelings than that on that subject, but we could always, whenever it comes up, approach them without doing something. And they would probably more than happy to come and help. But that's kind of bring that to your attention. And if you have a preference, if you would communicate that either to Courtney or myself, we will know how to proceed with the contract. The other thing that it came to my attention today, or I had a phone call today about it, is that I was approached by a gentleman inquiring about baling the grass that is just west of the building here in this big lot. We baled the corner over on the east side. And I kind of got mixed emotions about whether we would allow him to do that. And probably wanted to sit down and visit with Greg and some others that have a better feel of it. But when I was involved in that more heavily, grass got pretty high before they baled it. And do we want to let our frontage get that high before it's baled, before it's cut down? Because I would anticipate that if we do that and allow that, at least for the short term, we would hear about it from the citizens about how high the grass is and how it may not be looking as well as what it looks today.
Has this corner been cut once this year or not?
No, and I talked to them last week. They've been kind of busy with harvest. They were going to try to come swap it down, and then, but he hasn't gotten to it yet.
So somebody different than who's been doing it?
Yes. If we did that, it might be something that we want to, because if my understanding is that we've never had a contract or we've never bid this service out in the east. And if we have more than that, if we do want to bell that and we want to combine those areas and put out a request for proposals and have people bid on both of them, we may be able to make, we may be able to make a little money out of the deal. It would certainly be easier on the staff and equipment not having to mow this out here. I think this last time, Monday was the last time it was mowed, and some of the mowing crew on the city, the right-of-way crew came out and helped mow it. So it would certainly free up time for staff to be doing other things if we bailed it up. But that's something I just kind of wanted to at least visit with some of the board members about and get your opinion on if that's something we want to try to do or not.
Got to address it, Greg.
I think it's probably just a comment from you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so.
Never really looked at it that close.
What is this out east here?
I would say, just from you.
far east of this building, there's some love grass. I don't know if it's,
And the Votech name.
I think it's Votech land.
So, I mean, it gets down to the aesthetics of the frontage and how do we want it, or how do we want to maintain it?
Also, the love grass, you can let it get tall and it looks okay. But beauty grass, if you let it get tall, it gets pretty nasty looking.
Yeah.
How many acres are we talking? Anybody have any idea?
I'm guessing 10 or 12.
The people that done bait on this corner over here on the southeast, they don't want that.
Oh, I don't know. It's
Well,
never been.
We've never
discussed.
talked to them about it. That's the reason I'm saying if it's something we want to do on both places, it may benefit us to put it out for an RFP and advertise for bids to see if both of them want it. Or maybe there's a third person out there that would want it, that's willing to do it.
Greg, what would that, say there's 10 acres, what would that be worth? I mean, if you rented it, if somebody just cash rented $50 an acre, to $500, or not, I mean, it wouldn't even be that high, would it?
Yeah. But the reason the person wants to get big is just so it's swapping. It just, the cost of production's less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to figure out what our gross income would possibly be on 10 acres of hay.
I'm gonna say our income's not gonna be a whole lot. The biggest thing that we're gonna have is savings for our staff, time on staff and equipment.
Is that pretty hard on our equipment, that spot there?
Oh, yeah.
It just
Yeah.
the truck?
Well, and the little brush mowers that we have are like those, 7-footers. It takes us quite a while. But with the crew that came out and helped us, they had, oh God, how big is theirs?
15 foot.
Yeah. So it doesn't take as long for them to come out and help us. But who's to say that they can always come out and bring their bigger tractors and help us too? So it's kind of rough down in there. That's where the old mud pit used to be, so it's.
Joe Duncan asked you who's asking about it?
Hayden,
Okay. I don't know.
Mr. Hayden, he was on his cell phone, I got his number, I didn't catch his first name. Cell phone was great enough. I mean, would you like me to pursue that? I mean, we'll have to bring it back to the board to approve it as far as the dollar amount anyway. It will be a contract.
Could have saved them all, it's almost worth giving it to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Saving Owen.
Just try, we can try it.
I mean, if they'll keep it.
That's right, I mean, as long as it doesn't get too terribly out of hand.
Can we just put a height requirement? Can't be over, it's gotta be swole.
Yeah, it's so far.
Yeah.
What would that height
Kind of reminds me, I'd say just simply, yeah, Courtney's discretion, whenever she thinks it needs mowed, they need to come swap it.
Southeast corner as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, because,
Who swaps the southeast?
those others.
What height does certain things need to be usually to the swap club?
I don't know. I mean, it's gotta be so high, you can't get anything in the window, you can't pick it up, you go back to Bailey.
Yeah.
So there's gotta be something there.
Yeah.
And that was what I was saying, it's gotta be, I don't know what the minimum height is for them to be able to come in and.
It's gotta have something high just to get it, pushed into
Well, he may even come back and say, hey, I won't let it get over a certain height too.
I think it's worth asking. I'm with you guys, I don't think it's something worth charging if it's gonna save us money. Yeah.
Well, we'll pursue it and see what we can get, and we will, try to progress it.
I don't know how many, sorry. How many times per you typically swap Bermuda grass in season? 2 or 3?
probably. Of course, it's just on the rain.
I'm trying to think of how many times they did that over last year. I don't know.
Probably.
I think they did it twice last year over here, but there's been times they haven't done it.
There's been times they probably should have done it a couple more times.
And there's
Yeah,
been times that they haven't done it at all.
yeah.
Before we get into that, the only thing Joe Don didn't mention is that the water towers are not only on schedule, but a little bit ahead of schedule. So that was not counting the rain last night. I don't know if that's something back in, but they're We're moving right along with there, so.
We'll have another progress meeting, July 3rd. We'll find out where they're at the end. They actually moved up, they were, in April, they were at September 8th completion date. And then at the May meeting, they were at August 28th.
Is there an incentive for them to finish early?
They get out, and get out and get to the next job. There's a disincentive for being late.
The Northwestern contract, when you said need approved,
Seems like it was around the middle of July.
It needs to be on the next agenda.
well, is it good for everybody to stay in touch with them and let's redo it for the same and get it on next time's agenda to approve? Does anybody have any thoughts on not doing that? And then also on the agenda next time, stay in touch with Courtney as far as the basketball tournament, if we need to get it.
Yeah, and I was very ashamed of them.
And that one, it depends on when they want to have it. That
Right, he's supposed to kind of get back with me to see if it's even possible
Special.
to do in July. If it is, then we'll have to have a special meeting to get that done.
Yeah, if it's early in July, especially.
He was looking at it in July, is what he was looking at, so.
Then they work out that we don't have to just, we can do,
What's the date for the July meeting for us?
on my calendar.
Let me look what this is earlier.
No, but there's 4, 11, 19, 18, so the 18th.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Any other remarks or inquiries? And we are adjourned.